Hello, welcome to Spotlight on Souris, brought to you by WCG-TV, Access Channel 12 here in Souris, Manitoba. Today is November the 3rd, 2017. My name is Laura Simons, and I have with me today Colin McLeod, who is our pharmacist here in Souris, and he's going to talk to us about flu shots and why we should all get the flu shot. Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to ask you, Colin, what exactly is a flu shot and how does it work?
So every year Health Canada comes out with a flu shot, which is 4 strains. Well, this particular year is 4 strains of a dead viruses that we want to basically expose the public to, which sounds a little bit weird, but what happens is when you expose these dead vaccines to the human body, they build up antibodies towards these viruses. So what happens is if you're exposed to them after you receive a flu shot, then your body can fight them off a lot easier than they could if you didn't. So basically, you're just exposing the body to get it prepared for your exposure to these viruses.
Okay, so it's not the flu. You're not getting a shot.
No,
to get that
and
flu.
that's
It's
a common
not live.
no, and that's a common mistake that people make, and they think, well, I don't want to be sick. If I get the shot, I'm going to be sick, because a lot of times people do get sick right after they get the flu shot, but that was going to happen anyways. Usually, that was a sickness that you might have already had while you were getting the flu shot, or just afterwards, because it does take 2 weeks approximately for your body to build up the antibodies against the flu strains that you get in the flu shot.
Right.
So and they're not live, so they're dead already, and your
So
body
it
cannot cause.
flu.
No.
The fact of the matter is that sometimes we can have a bug in us for days before
Absolutely,
we have the symptoms.
yeah. It incubates in the body, and then it takes a while for the symptoms to, common symptoms are runny nose, the cough, aches and pains, very, very tired. Those are the common signs of influenza.
Right.
And a lot of people also confuse like stomach virus with influenza with like diarrhea or nauseousness, but that's not the same flu.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, that's a separate thing that we don't have an immunization for. You just get it.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So that's how it works, is a dead virus gets into your system and makes your system create antibodies to help you fight off those 4 strains.
Yes, well, this
And-
year is 4 strains, and those 4 strains are usually with Health Canada. They do studies about what strains are going to be most prevalent in Canada. So what they do is they make those vaccines for those strains, because obviously you can't have injections for every single strain of flu. They just take the most 4 common ones that are going to be exposed to the community.
Yeah, to help not have an epidemic of them.
Absolutely,
basically.
yeah. Well, and it's they're just they're just doing the numbers and saying if we give these 4 viruses, the amount of the influenza should decrease by a certain amount. So they do, because like I said, you can't have a flu shot every week for every single strain of flu. Just being practical.
Okay, so tell me, how much does it, people can get flu shots for free, but how much does a vaccine for one person actually cost? Is there a...
I don't have that off the top of the head. I think would probably, if you go, it's relatively, since it's, it is free. I mean, obviously the province pays for it, but I mean, they've done research that the strain, to get the flu shot is very practical based on how much money it would cost for us,
to be safe
doctor's
and go into the
visits.
system.
Absolutely.
Right, and that's the...
When people do get influenza very severe, they can be hospitalized, and that, of course, the costs incur so much more.
Sure.
And that might not necessarily be yourself. Like you getting the influenza, like a lot of people say, well, I'm healthy, I'm not going to get the flu shot. But you have to, we want you to get the flu shot so you protect other people who are really, they are either immunocompromised or they have conditions that if you protect yourself, you also protect them against going into the hospital.
Okay, so that was the next question, is who can get the flu shot? But virtually what you're saying is...
Well, everybody should get the flu shot. I mean, regardless, there's going to be people who, again, they think they're really healthy, they don't need it. But, we should be giving flu shots to everybody over 65. Anybody who is a first responder, emergency responder, a caregiver for at a daycare, also for nursing homes, any individual who is in a nursing home, any individual who has say, diabetes or a chronic condition, a pulmonary condition, a cardiac condition.
Yes.
And even it is also recommended for Indigenous people, especially just because it seems like that particular ethnic population is more exposed to influenza. So that is also something that should be done too as well, is they should get their flu shot. So I mean, it is recommended, but those particular areas of the population need to have a flu shot. It's recommended.
Because then the fallout, the people that you are protecting, I mean, that just covers a wide cost that they're saving, not having to treat all those people or put them in the hospital or doctor's visits, etc. So it's a small amount we're putting out now in order to save a lot for later.
Yeah, and the idea is it is called herd immunity, where if say if you have a group of 20 people, if you immunize 15 or 18 of the people, it is highly unlikely that the other 2 will get the influenza just because they're protected by the people who've got it. So that's why we encourage everybody to get the influenza virus. I mean, and especially again, we go into holidays when you're visiting relatives and you're visiting, young children or elderly people. Those are the times when you're in a close contact with people that it can spread like wildfire. So.
Yes. I think of some of the bigger cities too, where there's public transport, you look at the trains and the planes
Absolutely,
and the
yes.
subways, etc., where you get on all the time. Every time you're on one of those public systems, you are crowded by other people.
Absolutely, yes.
So
it can spread
fairly quickly, yes. So, but there are some exceptions. If you're allergic to eggs.
Yeah, if you're allergic to eggs, if you're allergic to eggs or have been allergic to another vaccine in the past, they probably won't want you to get they want you to be monitored more frequently. So they don't really recommend, like myself, being in the pharmacy may not be an area where they would want you to get the flu shot. But if you are under if you go into the doctor's office or in a hospital setting, they might give you the flu shot regardless of that, where you are under close surveillance.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it's not totally contraindicated, but it is something that we want to monitor.
Okay, for safety, then they put those rules out there
Absolutely.
that if you're allergic, you have to be careful, but monitored.
Right, yeah, it's not, they wouldn't want, when you come into the pharmacy to get a flu shot, there is a pamphlet of questions that you ask to the patient. And those are the questions, and more commonly is that it's not necessarily contraindicated, but it is something that they would want you to monitor. So I do have emergency procedures in the pharmacy.
Sure.
Say if somebody just has a regular allergic reaction, but since those are more common and are part of the actual makeup of the vaccine, they want you to be under care of a physician at that time when you're getting the shot.
So is that the only exception?
There are other exceptions. There's certain syndromes like Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a highly rare
Side effect.
Yeah, it's that's one of the indications that you can't. Some of the other ones would be like if you've been sick in the last 3 days, you shouldn't have the shot. That's another one where you're already immunocompromised, so we don't want to. You're already producing antibodies for another sickness that you don't want to introduce.
Your body's busy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so you don't want to introduce that into that. So that's another thing.
Sorry, you're saying people. So right now, if you're sick so many days, then you should hold off the flu shot.
Yeah, it's about 3 days.
People have Guillain-Barré in the past.
Yes.
Okay, because that's a terrible side effect from being sick or or having medication or whatever for being very, very ill in the past.
Yeah.
So if they have a history of that.
If they have a history.
Not that people can get that.
No, they can't get that from that. That's just something that where they're again. If we expose, it's a contraindication because if we expose them to that, they're at that particular syndrome puts them at risk for more side effects from that. From that vaccine.
Right.
So.
Okay.
And also chronic pulmonary conditions, like if you're wheezing or if you're having problems breathing before that, they don't want you to have the flu vaccine.
Yeah.
So that's all of the basic questions we go through. Like when you come into the pharmacy, there's a pamphlet there. We go through one by one, and your pharmacist will always go through it with you and make sure that you understand all the questions. And basically, we have those questions in place to be more careful, just because of the way. But on the other hand, we do want everybody to get the flu shot, and that's why we've introduced it into the pharmacies. Right. But at the same time, we have to be careful.
Yeah. And then you're talking about protecting people around you, because there's people have family members taking chemotherapy.
Absolutely, yes. Anything like that.
Other treatments, have other conditions, fibrosis that really shouldn't be exposed to.
Absolutely.
That terrible flu. So you're protecting them as well.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So we talked about that it's safe, and we we talked about the myths. You also talked about people think that it's going to give them
People think, that's a very common one. Another very common one is that it's going to cause autism, and that's a lot of it is recommended everywhere from 6 months to 59 months that a child has a flu shot. Although that can be done in the pharmacy, that should be done in the doctor's office. But again, there's been studies that a couple studies have been done that have totally disproved that it causes autism, and there's no scientific fact or study that has ever proven that. So, but people, of course, with the internet these days,
run with the idea.
Yeah, well, and anything can spread like wildfire, any myth or anything like that on Facebook.
Any myth and any truth can spread like wildfire. So people grab it and believe it's run with truth. And
absolutely, and you have some high-profile people spreading their beliefs. Sometimes beliefs aren't always facts, but it's tough to argue sometimes with people, and you just have to present the scientific argument, and it's always up to the individual.
You have a tough job.
Well, and there's also the fact that people think that the mercury in the vaccines is going to be harmful, where that's been disproven too as well with scientific studies. But again, you try to present the scientific case, but all those things, there has never been any proven mercury poisoning from multiple vaccines, or no proof of autism from vaccines, and no proof that that it causes the flu.
So and you get them every year. So
yes.
The amount of mercury in them isn't going to
accumulation.
That's too far apart to worry about accumulation.
And it's so minute. There's other things where just foods or things like that. Absolutely. You're going to get more mercury in that than you would in a flu shot.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah,
I've heard that a number of times about the mercury in the fish, for sure. Okay, so if you get a flu shot this year, that should be good for a couple of years, shouldn't it?
No. You have to get it, well, that's because it's different strains. So every year, Health Canada comes out, they have different strains of the flu vaccine. So once you build, it's not if you build up immunity to those strains, you should be good for the other ones. You have to come in and get the flu shot every year.
Okay, so those 4 strains you talked about earlier don't just carry on from year to year.
Well, your immunity does, but it doesn't. But the other strains,
the
flu shot changes. Yeah, so you're again, it goes back to Health Canada. They run the numbers. They say, listen, this is probably the viruses that are going to be we're going to be most exposed to, and then they make another vaccine. So it's very important that you do come in and get that one too as well.
Okay, so we talked about the flu shot and the myths around it. Now, you said coming into the pharmacy to get the flu shot and the doctor's office. Is there other places people can present to get the flu shot?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, like you said, you can go to your doctor's office at a regular time, a regular appointment. They should have it. Most of the doctor's offices do have it. Most pharmacies do have it, as long as the pharmacist is licensed to do it, which most pharmacies have it as well. There's also flu clinics that are set up on certain particular dates. I know we have one in Souris. It's usually a day in the middle of November. I'm not sure off the top of my head what it is, but every community usually has at the hall or here, like we have at the ring or something like that at a gathering place, and they have some community health nurses to give out the flu shot. It's whatever is convenient for you. I know a lot of people like to make appointments, or if you just want to walk in. I know I've done 7 today just as walk-ins. So,
right. Okay, you said it is Health Canada provides this to save money in the health system later on down the line. But are there some age groups that might have to pay for the flu shot?
It's free for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no age groups. Like I said, the only thing is with the children. Like as a pharmacist, I'm only allowed to give vaccines over 7 years old in Manitoba. So if you have a younger child that is any younger than that, you want to make a doctor's appointment and have it done. It also is a good idea too, is if you do have a large family, or if you're coming into the pharmacy, to give the pharmacy a call too as well, just to make sure they have the vaccine. Because I know this particular year we actually have had some doctor's offices and pharmacies run out. So it's always good to phone before. I mean, it's not like you're going to be turned away, but if they don't have it, then at least they can tell you who does and where to go.
Yes.
Yeah,
so that's they can make a plan. Taking that trip in with, like you say, 7 people and then finding what they
absolutely, yeah, you can't get it done, and then you're going from pharmacy to the doctor's office. But I mean, we're pretty efficient when it comes to that. I know here in Souris that the doctor's office is right beside us, so if they run out or we run out, it's usually not a really big deal to send somebody next door.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to share with us and our community of Souris about the flu shot?
Not much more than that. Just it's very important that you do get your flu shot. Like I can't stress that enough. Exactly, it's very important, especially like me, like Souris. I mean, we have elderly people around quite a bit. We have 2 health nursing care homes, and I mean we do have a big daycare here. I mean, it's very important to stress how important it is to get the shot for the other people around you. Even if you're healthy, if you've been healthy, if you've never been sick, it's very important that everybody gets it so we can protect the ones that are weak.
Yeah, and it's also good practice for washing hands, of course. And
yes.
Good practice as well when you're feeling ill, even if it isn't flu shot season and you haven't had your flu shot, you're not feeling well, to stay away from other people.
Absolutely.
Unfortunate part is we already discussed that you're already contagious before you have the symptoms.
Yes.
But it is better you can protect that many more people. Just stay home when you have the
Absolutely,
flu.
absolutely. If you are feeling sick, and especially if you do work in my line of work, I am talking to several people today. So if you are in a line of work that you are exposed to a lot of people during the day, so like in retail jobs, or if you do work in a hospital or in a home, you want to make sure that you don't expose those other people.
Right, because some of those people are compromised. Maybe not so much in the grocery store that would people necessarily be compromised.
No.
But I'm going to see a lot more of that in the personal care and the hospital
Absolutely.
and other things. And yet you can still have those people who are taking therapy come into the grocery store and buy the groceries. So
Absolutely.
every place that we work, every place that we're in contact with, we need to protect them. We need to think about them too.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing when it comes to the flu shot. Especially, and the other thing too is that it's free. I mean, there's no cost.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can come down and see me, and it's the flu shot for me to get it ready is 5 minutes, and then you have to wait about 15 minutes afterwards. So for about 20-25 minutes during your day to protect people in the public, it's worth it. And yourself.
Good investment. Yeah, and yourself. Think about the time you're not going to miss from work. Think
Absolutely.
about the functions that you're not going to miss because you've had the flu shot.
Absolutely. Yeah, and especially, I have a young son, so if you have kids too, it's worth 25 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it is, absolutely. Okay. Okay, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Colin, for coming in. We do
Absolutely.
appreciate your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Get on down to the Souris doctor's office or the Souris pharmacy and spend your 25 minutes and get that flu shot and protect yourself and the others around you, especially your loved ones and the people who are compromised. We appreciate that. This is Spotlight on Souris, brought to you by WCG TV, and I would like to thank the volunteers that helped put this together. Mark Cranwell is our camera person, Sheila Kirkhope is our producer, I'm Laura Simons. Thank you so much for joining us and have a great day.